Okay, welcome to the platform. Welcome to Hip Hop United. Introduce yourself to the fans.
Hi, I am Ryah Moore. I'm based out of Rockland County, New York. And
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
pop urban artist.
Right. I see you're a triple threat. Singer, songwriter, entertainer,
Yes,
triple threat, right?
yes, correct.
All right. So let everybody know, just catch us up. How did you get started and how long have you been in the industry?
So I have been in the industry for a while. I got started, I would say, when I was in high school. I first was in school for music, and also I did a lot of theater work.
Mhm.
So I was an extra in a couple of shows: Law and Order SVU, Cupid, Gossip Girl, and I had an agent when I was 16.
Mhm.
And so I had to stop all of that because education was very important in my household. So I fast forward and went to college, graduated, and learned how to direct. And I directed Four Colored Girls on my campus. So it did very well, and I got an award for that. And then I would say after I graduated college, then that's when a lot of A&Rs started reaching out. So I had an interview with Atlantic Records, and uh, they wanted to sign me, but at first I was just strictly R&B, and I
Mhm.
did a lot of cover stuff. But because they already had two flops, they didn't want to take that chance.
Mhm.
So I started learning how to hone into my craft and worked with a variety of different producers and songwriters. And then that's when pop urban came about, because I just started studying Demi Lovato, Beyonce, just everybody in the game that is killing it. And then I worked with an old manager of mine, and that's where I really started getting my feet wet in this industry.
Mhm.
And I would say that around 2000, was it 16, 2016, that's when I put out my first single. I tried it out on SoundCloud. It was called Dream, and it was more indie, and it did well, but I knew it wasn't necessarily my sound. So then I started working on this record called The Ish, and The Ish started really putting me on the map, and everybody was like, who is this girl? And I started doing a lot of showcases, and then from The Ish came Elements of Me, and yeah, now we're here.
Right. Okay. That so definitely you've definitely been putting in work, I see.
Yeah,
Most
yes.
definitely. So from the TV show, playing an extra, do you think that helped you kind of like, rub shoulders with some of the who's and the
Yes, it
influencers in
did.
the industry?
I would say it definitely did, because it taught me how to be professional and how to work with professionals at such a young age. Because my mother also had a background in acting and modeling. So she would teach us how to style ourselves. We would study magazines and learn how to work the camera. So I would say the extra work definitely taught me how to maneuver myself around important people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What was going through your mind? Like you said, you were about to be signed with Atlantic Records, but
Yes.
they had some flops, and it pretty much you kept going and didn't give up. What was kind of like going through your mind when you heard that? Like, did it help you like go harder or motivate you in any type of way?
It did help me go harder because I knew my potential, and I knew it wasn't necessarily about me, because the A&R reached out and pretty much kind of told me what happened and how things work. I had a showcase, and one of the vice presidents that I met happened to be on the panel. And he was like, "You look so familiar." And then I told him this story. And he's like, "Oh my God, that's where I know you from." And he said, "Wow, you are killing it. You've come such a long way." and he really digs with what I'm doing. So we have been in contact, and he was like, stay in touch. So it's all about timing. I realized maybe at that moment it wasn't my time.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
What's the best advice someone has given you so far throughout just your whole duration of just, being in the industry?
I would say the best advice someone has given me was to never give up and to keep pushing and keep creating. And I just always stuck to my, mind, and that nothing comes easily.
Hmm.
And when I learned that nothing comes easily, you have to work for it. That's what really drove my hunger even more, because I, want it just as bad as anybody else. And I know there's someone out there who is working just as hard as me, if not harder. And so when I got in that mindset of I have to keep pushing until I get there, get to my destination, the ones that have made it are the ones that didn't give up. And so that's why I haven't given up, because I know I have a voice for a variety of people and a target that others can relate to my story and probably have the same story. And so I'm speaking on those people.
What type of advice would you give to like up and coming female artists, being that you're female artists that are trying to get in, your shoes of where you are today?
I would say to be unique and to be different. A lot of artists today, I feel like, are all kind of doing the same thing, where we're not necessarily separating ourselves, we're competing with each other. And so don't compete. As a matter of fact, we should all uplift each other and collaborate, rather than bashing each other and telling each other like I'm better than you and all this other stuff. Just be your own self and compete with yourself, nobody else.
Absolutely, absolutely. What have you been doing throughout this whole pandemic, though? What have you been doing to stay productive?
So I have learned how to become a content creator.
Okay.
So I have been doing a lot of YouTube videos, cooking, and also watching Netflix. And then on top of that, I just added Voicely. And so there's a ton of different beats on there where I just been playing around, writing, and just also working on my studio and just trying to create as much content as possible, because everything right now is digital. So
Right.
I want to make sure that my fans also see my personality. So I have a lot more content dropping on YouTube, where they're going to see behind the scenes of things that I've done previous to this moment. And we've been having cooking live shows where we're cooking together.
Where have you
So
learned how
it's
to
been
cook?
fun.
Have you
Yeah.
learned how to cook anything new?
So I learned how to cook seafood. I've never tried seafood. I made some shrimp, and I've also learned how to make lobster. And my parents, they're very nitpicky when it comes to their food. So I'm like, does it taste good?
Right.
But yeah, so I've been trying a variety of different things, trying to figure out what I can make. Because when I was younger, I used to put on these little cooking shows, acting like I was on a cooking channel. So
Hmm.
yeah, so that's what I've been up to.
Okay. Let's get into your music. What are you currently pushing right
So I'm currently pushing my summer anthem, which is called Whatever I Want. It's actually on Elements of Me, my project that was released in February. It
now?
is a woman empowerment record. It's a motivational record. Pretty much it talks about getting whatever you want, manifesting it, and believing that you can achieve it.
Okay. All right. Does it have any collabs on there? Are you working with anybody on it?
So there's no collabs on it. I wanted this first project to be just me, because the title is Elements of Me. So I want my audience and new fans to see who Ryah Moore is behind the curtain. So this whole album, you're going to get a sense of who Ryah Moore is.
Okay. what kind of vibes can the listeners get from this new single?
There's a lot of different vibes. We got some pop, we got some EDM going on, we have feel good music, some R&B. It's a variety of different genres because I listen to so many different types of music.
Mm-hmm.
And so really it's a collective of a variety of different vibes, really.
Okay. Who are your top three artists that you're listening to now?
My top three that I've been listening to, I've been listening to Demi Lovato. I just love her. And I actually have been listening to some of her. Um, and the last person I would say, it's interesting because I started listening to Kehlani.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really like paid attention to any of what she was doing, but I would say this quarantine has allowed me to discover artists that I just would not really listen to. So I would say those are the top three that I've listened to. And I've been getting into Afro beats also, which is
Okay.
totally far-fetched.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, you're an entertainer, so like you said, this pandemic has just it's just opening up people's, interest to just different things. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you're pushing, you want everybody to know about?
So I plan to drop another music video real soon. It's for my second single that I dropped called Wild Birds. So that will be released sometime June, July, around that time. So please go look out for it and make sure you pay attention because it's very different. It's more of a narrative than my other music video, which was Something in the Water, which is also available and you can go look at that too.
Okay. All right. Can we expect any up and coming shows after the whole pandemic is over?
Oh, definitely. We were planning to do that this summer and then it just all got ruined, but that's okay.
Right.
So you'll definitely see some shows for sure. I will
Okay.
make sure that happens.
Okay. Okay. Well, we will definitely be on the lookout for that. Anything else you want our listeners to know before we tap out?
Oh, yes. You could follow me on every platform, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at It's Ryah Moore. And also you could check out my channel, Ryah Moore. So that's ITSRYAHMOORE. And thank you so much for having me.
No problem. We do appreciate you for checking in and taking the time to speak to Hip Hop United.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. No problem. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.